Oh, hi there. Enough of that RPG garbage, am I right, guys? Let's freaking blow some stuff up. I'm Greg Miller. This is the IGN's Twisted Metal live stream. That's the PlayStation powerhouse, Ryan Clements.
Hello.
And here's the man who needs no introduction whatsoever, David Jaffe. The man who birthed.
I guess I did need an introduction.
You birthed Twisted Metal.
He came out of my twat.
Oh my God.
Shit! I said I wouldn't.
Well, we made the whole
I'm sorry.
seconds of the live stream.
And we're done.
Yeah.
I promised
Don't worry.
you. I'm talking about the producer off camera. I promised I wouldn't do that. And I'm like, oh, I forgot.
Don't worry. For all of Jaffe's curse words, make sure you watch Start up at noon next Monday. Jaffe has a great interview.
So not intentional. I apologize.
No, I'm not mad. I don't care. We're not going to get in trouble. Let's talk about the game. Let's play some game.
Yeah, let's do that.
Absolutely. Okay.
Give me the rundown here, Mr. Jaffe. What's going on?
Twisted Metal. This is, I would say this is the best one we've ever made. We've been making Twisted Metals on and off since '94, and it really is to us, I think. I don't know, the culmination of that, kind of like the representation of sort of when you start any creative project, certainly a game, back in the 90s, I mean, you look at these things on your back wall here, and it's like, this is what I grew up with, right? So when you're playing as a kid, you have these images in your head. It's kind of like when you design a game, you have this image in your head, and me and Scott and all the whole team were like, we saw this amazing, freeway pileup action scene of semi trucks, jackknifing and hitting sports cars, and guys in helicopters with sniper rifles shooting street bikes, and just like a huge action movie scene. And that's what we were trying to make. And then obviously it was PS1. PS1, you take a little baby step into the pool.
Big old square heads.
Exactly.
Figuring out what a pixel is.
You do a little more. And so, I mean, the two things we're really proud of with this is, one is that I think from a conceptual standpoint, we've really kind of, we've gotten much, much closer than we've ever been to that sort of fantasy in our heads. And then on sort of the other part is just the gameplay. When we started Twisted Metal 1, multiplayer wasn't even in our minds. We were just kind of like, let's make a single player game, we'll put in some split screen, But as the series has evolved, multiplayer really has become the bread and butter, and sort of, a whole hardcore group of fans, including us, they picked up on a lot of the stuff that was intentional, that we designed. They picked up on a lot of the stuff we never even planned for. And it really became, and has evolved into, this kind of fighting game in vehicles. Kind of, I heard somebody describe it the other day, fighting game and sort of like Unreal tournament style shooter, Mario Kart battle mode. And I think all those are very apt and correct descriptions. And so this one, we're really proud of the fact that depth of gameplay. Almost every weapon has multiple functionality that we'll show you today.
Yeah, we're jumping into multiplayer.
Yeah, you're going to need to start guiding me, because I've never.
Okay, you're in the room right
you're
now.
doing online right now.
Okay, so hopefully I joined the right tip.
Okay, so if we're just talking about what we're looking at, then okay, I got you. Okay, so
which car should I pick, David?
Well, let me see what mode. Okay, you're doing team deathmatch. I believe they're doing straight up kills based. There's a number of different scoring modes. So if you're brand new to the game, I would pick somebody.
I definitely am.
Okay, I would pick somebody with some decent armor. I would pick Outlaw is who I would pick.
Okay, sounds good.
And this is Black Rock Stadium. It's a level that's going to sort of change in real time around you. There's going to be a lot of traps and things to avoid. And basically, I mean, this one is like, can you get more kills in your team? I believe that's the mode that they're playing.
Great.
And
do I have to ready up?
No, you're ready. Once you're into the lobby, you've got a certain amount of time to pick your vehicle and communicate with your buddies and do what you need to do when you're ready to jump in.
All right, now as we get going here, it's important to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that this is your show. You need to tweet at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal, to tell us what you want to see, what questions you have for Mr. Jaffe. Maybe you'll win a copy of Twisted Metal. Mr. Jaffe, here comes your first one.
Awesome.
This guy, Giuseppe, he writes in, will there be any QuickTime events in the game since Jaffe semi-popularized it with God of War?
Well, Giuseppe, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know if that's like the
that was in some kind of lovely Irish brogue. I don't know.
But Giuseppe's Italian, I think. Okay, no, there's no QuickTime events.
Okay.
It's definitely, I mean, this is a game that really is built around,
Let's bail out of this. Go play single player.
Yeah, well, no, I'm wondering. What am I supposed to do?
No. Go into. It's okay. Now you're basically. I think what we're waiting on is because
you're playing, start the game.
You're playing an unranked game. If you're playing match, just chill for a sec.
Okay.
If you're basically playing a, I don't know if you can like reach out to. He's playing San Diego QA right now.
San Diego QA. Are they?
I don't know if you can reach out to them.
Tell them we're ready.
Say
I'm ready to play.
In the match-made games, obviously it just starts. This is obviously we have a whole host of unranked modes and unranked rooms, and we have We have game list and lobbies, and so if you're playing the demo right now, it's all just matchmaking.
Yeah, you can right now.
Yeah,
okay.
But
which you can get
this
for
is
free
a
on
custom
PSN.
lobby.
Yes, if you can get there's custom lobbies. You can password protect your game rooms. There's a lot of settings that we can go through that you can choose as the host of a game. And so
about to start, Clements. You're about to test your metal.
Yeah, So the first thing is, I mean, every car has multiple special weapons. This one has 2 core special weapons.
There we go.
And when you change over to the big S on the bottom of the screen, you'll see a triangle. So in this particular case, he's got some of the best armor. He burns through turbo the slowest because he's really heavy. He's a good rammer, does a lot more damage with ramming.
Okay, excellent.
And his special, if you just kind of hit it once, it'll be a 360-degree turret.
Okay, got it.
But if you pound on the button, the faster you pound, the more grenades shoot out of the side of the turret. And will be 360, so it's very easy to do. It does a decent amount of damage, nothing great. But then if you go to his alt special by hitting the triangle button, instead of having 360 degrees, you have it's a little less than 180. And so you've got to work harder to keep the enemies in your cone of fire. But then when you pound the button, it's not a grenade, it's what we're calling blood missiles that do a lot more damage.
That sounds intense.
In the case of Outlaw, you're dealing, and these are, we'll see. In the case of Outlaw, you're dealing, he's kind of one of our beginner cars, and so he's kind of has sort of the understanding of sort of, okay, special weapon A is a lot easier, special weapon B does more damage, but it's harder. But they're not all like that. A lot of the specials that we'll see today, they're just different situations. And so, obviously, now you're in the arena now.
I'm about to die.
You're not going to die. You're not going to die.
Too long.
No, get out of there, though. So, I'm going to tell you to get out of there, but...
I might have to... Oh, no. I'm so dead, Greg.
Yeah, well...
You're
doing well, Ryan. Really showing why you're reviewing this game.
Greg, I'd like to point out that this is the first time I've ever played this version of Twisted Metal.
Well, you played it at preview events.
Nope. See the big flashing arrows? That's what we put in there to go, this is how you get out of there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, we needed
it's good. I'm glad that they have the creator.
Bored Dude X1 tweets at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Compared to other Twisted Metal games, what is the difference between this one and the others?
Well, there's a lot of things. The biggest one, I mean, from a standpoint of, I guess that guy just disconnected. You should kill him.
Easy kill.
Free kill. The biggest thing with this game, with the new Twisted Metal, is really the depth of the tactics and strategies and weapons. It was really, the reason I was really attracted to this and wanted to work on this with the team, and Scott as well, the co-director out in Utah, was because we were looking for a different kind of shooter, and we love shooters, but we wanted, I mean, even if you notice now, if you're talking about a wonderful game like Call of Duty or Battlefield 3, I rarely stay alive for as long as you're staying alive right now. So the fact that you're able to, you're about to go back into work. I'll tell you what, we're not firing on all cylinders. This is the worst fucking level to put. I don't know why San Diego's. Let's fucking start with the level filled with traps and shit. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it again. Sorry, cussing. Sorry. There's a quarter. But anyway,
I'm sure YouTube will sue us for much more than a quarter.
I apologize. But anyway, that'll be my version of the Janet Jackson nipple slip. But anyhow, yeah. So I mean, the biggest thing really is a lot of people. I mean, even if you tune in right now, great, awesome, we got a crash. You guys aren't running. You guys aren't running the patch. I don't think.
No problem. Because what I can do is just reset.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, you turn it off.
I'm gonna reset.
We'll see some single player stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, no, let's jump back into multiplayer. I'd love.
David, have you been watching this man play? He needs a tutorial.
Okay, why don't we start with the tutorial? But if we could, I don't know if we're running, because anybody, I mean, obviously all your, we were absolutely, I hate patches, can't stand them. We're launching though with a day one patch. They tell me it's really fast loading. And again, this is, I think you guys are playing the retail disc.
Yeah, but we're doing it on a debug test server.
Right, and so
different stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah.
This live stream does not necessarily reflect the final retail experience.
No, but your review will, and so
Hey, I think I'll be. I'm pretty forgiving of this stuff.
I'm not. I fucking no. Crash is not okay. It's not okay. But that's dealt with. Anyway, point is though it's about. But what I was saying is when we crash there, it's like if you're looking at a game like that, a lot of people look at it and they say, okay, they see the surface of that and they say, oh, okay, it's crazy, it's chaotic, it's over the top. All that's true. That's always like we were saying, like the shallow end of the swimming pool. It's kind of the fantasy of it. But it really was for us about building a fighting game with the level of depth and strategy and skill that people could master and continue to learn things. I always imagine it like a trapeze or something where it kind of, once you finish a game, You want to have enough that it's like there's this trapeze coming that you feel like you don't want to disengage because there's something else you can grab onto and go to the next level. And so I think that sort of at a underneath level, at a foundation level, is really what makes this special and different than all the other Twisteds. And then there's the obvious out of the box online. 2 to 4 player same screen, biggest variety.
I love that
campaign.
split screen. That's a great
We're
sell
gonna break
for
some
me.
of that out, I think, here in a little bit.
It's the most varied campaign we've done. You know, it's the best one we've done. But that's the core gameplay difference, though, is just the depth.
All right. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question for Jaffe here, tweet at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. You might win a copy of the game, just like Kurt Zizadush did, because he tweeted at us. Kurt asked, will there be a story mode with individual character endings like past games?
There will be. In fact, today I think we're going to show the Sweet Tooth opening movie. So and I was really bummed because, you know, I didn't know, I knew we were doing this, I was excited about it, but I didn't think to bring 100% complete.
Well, you don't want to spoil it. You don't want to jump ahead.
No, I know. I don't know if we're going to... We talked about maybe being able to get one in the next 2 hours, so hopefully we can get one installed. But if not, it is... But absolutely. You know, people have complained about, well, where's all the different characters? Where's No Face and Bloody Mary and stuff?
Yeah.
And this game absolutely centers, from a story standpoint, on Sweet Tooth, Dollface, and Mr. Grimm. Creature's in there, Calypso's in there. The reason we did that, though, is that...
Let's jump out and do single player. What are you doing?
All right.
I want to see Sweet Tooth. Everyone wants to see Sweet Tooth.
But when you review it, go to training first. There's training mode.
Got it. One player. Baby mode.
No, you know, it's actually funny because we put the demo out. We put the demo out. Well, yeah. Why don't we? Well, should we talk or should we? What are we doing?
Well, we'll talk until it starts.
Yeah. So it starts
right here. Okay,
yeah.
So everybody quiet. Here we go.
All right.
Next call. What's on your mind tonight, brother? Says here you're a preacher of some kind or something.
Time manipulation, mind reading. Oh, he has many powers. Why, he can even raise the dead. And once spawned, they are forever loyal to Calypso. But this year, I will bring him to his
listen, every year this time I got people calling in with his bull.
No! You must believe Calypso is the reason for all the violence. He is the devil!
I do agree with him on one thing. It's bad out there, folks. Real bad. But I got a solution. Stay in tonight and lock your doors.
Just more trash on the side of the road.
An uplifting beginning.
Calypso's got himself another driver for this year's contest.
We searched for days and days.
When you put an ad out, they never respond.
The only one. There have been so many people I've killed over the years. But her, she was the only one who ever escaped. She was the one that got away. I don't blame myself. They were my first murders. Oh, boys and girls, she didn't make it easy. I had saved her for last. And I toyed with her. I teased her. Oh, she was delightful. She actually hurt me. That's how she managed to escape. That and that damned picture. How many years has that been? And I still think about her. I still crave her screams and her death. She needs to be gutted. Then I'll shove her in my icebox and we'll be together forever. I just have to win Calypso's stupid little contest, and any prize I ask for will be mine. Calypso. They say he has many powers. When I win, he's going to send me where she's been hiding all these years. And this time, I'm going to finish what I started. This time, I'm going to make her bleed.
Well, I feel good right now, guys.
Twisted man, Jimmy.
Feel good movie of the year, yeah. So, but yeah, so there are stories, but they're more. They're live action. They have beginning, middles, and ends. They all go into a lot more depth and detail of the characters and sort of who they are and their backstories and more about the world. And for us, it just made more sense to dive deeper, in 2012. I mean, if you look at that screen that you guys were just on, that kind of shows, the campaign, and as maybe we go through a little bit of it. Oh, chill for. Oh no,
too late.
We'll come back. But basically, we wanted also to have a more varied campaign, more interesting bosses. If the old school Twisted Metals, it was pretty much just this exact same flow, like these 8 levels, sequentially.
And then you got a different cutscene.
And it was different cutscenes, same gameplay, deathmatch, everything. And it was just, we felt it was just time to sort of, freshen it up. And the hope is that players will like these stories as much as we do and go, okay, we're glad that, they put the time into making 3 characters a lot stronger. Than the way we did it back in the day. And then on campaign, so when you were just coming in, so you're depending on the event you're playing. This is a straight up refresher deathmatch where you get to pick 3 vehicles. You only have 1 life, and there are garages scattered around. And there's a single garage, and in this level it's over by Main Street. And as your car is getting low on health, you can either find a health semi that's driving around the level. You'll see on your radar. Kind of drive into that to get full health, Spy Hunter style.
Got it.
Or you can pick up health packs. You can kill enemy drivers. They'll spawn either a enemy gunner or an enemy driver. The driver is worth health. The gunner's with a random weapon.
Okay.
Or you can find the garage with the green wrench, and if you go in there, you can swap one of your vehicles for one of the other ones you brought into battle.
At the beginning.
And it'll slowly, very slowly heal while you're in the garage. So you can kind of go back and get it again.
Got it.
So it's kind of really built to build that kind of tension of sort of risk reward and how long you want to stay out before swapping vehicles.
Now, what's the reward to staying out and kind of keeping yourself in danger in the heat of things?
Well, it's just you have no. It's just you're basically in this particular event. You're trying to take out 6 enemies, and that's the goal of this event. First one, very simple, straight up deathmatch. And so the reward for staying out is just it's not so much a reward. It's basically a sense of can you fulfill the task, which is can you take them all out. And ultimately, it's do you want to?
Are they fighting each other or just you?
They're mostly fighting you. There are some events where they look like they're fighting each other, but it's really
clever ruse.
Yeah, well, semi-clever ruse. It's more of an issue of if suddenly you're playing and the event's over because they've killed each other. You're like, well, what happened?
No, I didn't even learn anything.
Whoa!
Justin O'Brien tweets at IGN #TwistedMetal. He tweets at us. He gets his question read. He wins the game right now, Justin O'Brien. But he asks,
now, as you shoot that,
what is
pound
the
the
feature?
button, pound the fire button, you'll shoot grenades as well. So you'll see the 2s popping out. And that red light means you've got a sniper on you. So The sniper rifle. I'm sorry. I'll get.
Justin O'Brien has turned off the live stream.
The sniper rifle. There's not like it's a real sniper rifle conceptually, and we actually have Mr. Grimm's alt weapon is very much like a sniper, but it's more of a concept of. It's like our old satellite weapon in Twisted Metal Black. So as long as you can keep that on an enemy, you'll start seeing your meter fill up. And the longer you keep it on, you can keep it on until you can get a headshot. But it's not an instant headshot, so there's none of that kind of camping and instant killing. And you always know when it's on you, so you can put a shield up, or you can go for health, or go around the corner to basically kind of break the line of sight. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Justin O'Brien asks, what's the feature you're most excited about, since there's so many that that have been added? Also, are there any features you had to cut out before going gold?
The feature, all the D-pad moves you see in the bottom left there.
Yes.
So you'll have your mines, your
garage.
your EMP blast that freezes enemies. You'll have a shield, and then as you go through the campaign, and also as you unlock in multiplayer, you'll get advanced energy attacks down there. So you'll be able to rear EMP fire. You'll have an absorption shield that will take the attack that just came into you if you can throw the shield up at the right time, and you'll steal that attack from the enemy, and you'll also shoot out a stalker missile at the enemy. And then you'll also have advanced mines that do a lot more damage but take a lot more energy, and all of the advanced attacks feed off that meter down there, the little blue meter on the left. And every vehicle, they sort of recharge and drain that at different speeds. So like the Reaper, who's the motorcycle, who's really, really weak in armor, he fills that meter up really fast, and he can do a lot more shields. His shields don't cost as much as like playing Death Warrant. He can only get a couple of shields. So again, going back to sort of, there's the obvious stuff like how this guy's driving compared to how Outlaw's driving. I imagine you notice the turn rate feeling different.
Yeah, it's totally different.
The hit points are different, but it's also that kind of granularity
That's
of,
how I reverse.
Let's talk about reverse in a second, by the way. The granularity of that kind of, those kind of elements that really kind of distinguish cars and make them feel hopefully more like characters in a fighting game. The feature that I'm most proud of, I mean, at the high level, it's the depth. It's the fact that you come in and it feels really fun after you learn the controls. But after that, it really is, there's a lot of places to go. Well, at least we feel, and we're really excited and terrified and nervous to find out what professional reviewers and fans think, because we feel that we've made a real deep gameplay nutritious game. But it's really hard, right? It's hard at these speeds to always communicate that. So like even with this remote bomb right now, if you launch this remote bomb, you can stick it onto an enemy. When you see a red target, it'll land on the enemy. So if it lands on the enemy, you can detonate it. So you missed him though, so you see the little window up there. So if you see a red card go by and you detonate it, you'll be able to get. Now you've got one stuck on you though, and if you ram someone with it hard enough, you can transfer it. But I think you either detonated it. But if it's stuck on a car, it's only going to do a little bit of damage. If it's stuck in the environment, it's going to cook and do a lot more damage. And so you can set up traps and things if you're playing sort of more skilled and more sort of tactically. And that's the kind of stuff when your follower says, "What do you like the most?" I like at a high level the fact that we've built that kind of flip around and you'll get you can see the gunner running around. He's already fallen down, but if he's about to die, but you can get a weapon from him, right? He's gone down. But I like at a high level just the fact that we built that in. And if he's talking about one concrete feature, I like Mr. Grimm's special weapon where you can drag the
chainsaw, right? And it glows red or orange, and then you throw it for massive damage.
I love that. And then what was his other? There's another question?
Anything you had to cut before the game got gold?
Yeah, I mean we always have to cut stuff. I don't want to, it's so fresh. I mean, like I said, we have a patch coming out, and so we just finished the patch days ago.
Yeah.
And so the battle scars of things we had to cut are still so fresh that I feel like if I told you today, it would be like, doesn't that suck? It's awful. I hate life. It's all very emo. But within a month or 6 months or whatever, here's Pope Jaffe coming up. They fucking put this in. I didn't even know they put that in.
Where?
If you go to the church.
Go to the church. Come on.
Oh my God! I'm trying. I'm in the stained glass there, and I was like, I didn't want to say anything. I saw it when I was hanging out with the QA department, and I'm like, fuck, did they? I don't want to take that out. I love it, but if I say it, maybe legal's going to say we can't officially have real people. I don't want to say shit.
Yeah.
So it's
too late now.
It's too late now. That's right.
Suck it.
So, but anyway, but yeah, I mean, but
Shuhei Yoshida just shaking his fist at the TV.
No, she would probably. Oh, you can go to the garage, dude.
I
push to the right on your D-pad.
There it is.
That'll give you your shield.
Oh, nice. There it is.
All right, what should I do, David?
Okay, go to Sweet Tooth.
All right.
And now he can fly, right? So go to his special.
Oh, you're kidding me. You're going to add another dimension here?
Go. You're going to die. Okay, so hit triangle. His alt special transforms him into a robot.
Yes.
And so you can either turbo dash forward, do a 6-axis forward. Now let's be clear. See, that's all you had to do. I've got people in the demo thinking we're asking them to do like fucking Wii Sports. It's like, I hate the waggle. It's like, it's not, it's just, right? Am I right?
Just push.
Like, boop, boop, it's it. It's nothing. Right? But anyway, so he's got, when he's in a robot form, he's got a great turbo dash either on the ground or in the air. But if you collect some turbo, that's what lets him fly, and it drains his turbo. So grab some turbo on the ground if you would.
Also, I have a remote mine stuck to me, I believe.
Go ram somebody with it before they just detonated it. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, while you guys figure that out, I got a question here from the Realitarian, Harrison Armstrong, who wins a copy of the game. He tweets at IGN, hashtag twist the metal.
But you know what? The AI will. I'll talk. I'm telling you, I'm excited. Okay.
Just let Clements die.
Just don't talk.
I'm kidding.
Answer you or talk to this.
Just pretend.
It's a little bit of everything.
Okay, so on that, the health semi will regenerate. He'll open his back every X seconds. I think it's like 50 seconds in the normal mode.
Okay.
But you have to be careful.
Clements just getting blasted with fire.
Hit triangle. And now hit jump, which is L1 and R1,
Oops.
and then push up on, you lost it. The AI is going to try, Kamikaze is going to try to get into that health semi, so you either want to take him out or freeze him before the health semi opens again.
I think I'm going to get him.
But the health semi is going to do some work for you. He'll ram, the health semi will ram the shit out of you and kill you. Shit, I'm sorry.
We knew what you were getting into when we invited you.
It really isn't, I apologize. People think, anyway, whatever, let's talk about the game. You got a sniper on you right now. Okay, go to triangle, hit triangle.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Now hit L1, R1 and push up on the right stick. All right. Now, go up, fly. All
right, push up on the right stick.
Push up.
Got it.
Now.
Got it.
That's awesome.
Now, when you're in this mode, the only weapon, you can hit L1, R1 again. Don't do it yet, it'll take turbo. You've got a turbo slam.
Okay.
The higher you are when you do it, the more damage it does when it hits the ground.
Okay.
But it sends out a shockwave. But again, all of this is like, okay, do I want to go high? Do I want to go low? If somebody freezes you when you're in this mode, you lose the robot form. It puts you back into the truck form. If you manage to get the turbo ram off, the enemies on the ground, though, will hear a laugh, and they can jump over it, and they can dodge it. So there's all this kind of offense, counter-offense, back and forth that we're hoping eventually players really start to pick up on. For example, if you launch the head now, hit fire right now, he'll take his head off and throw it as a bomb.
Okay, wait, let me get a good target here.
Well, took you out. You can pound the buttons to get out, and certain vehicles get out of freezes faster. So he's kind of an average speed that he gets out of freeze with. But in truck form, that will go through walls and floors and everything, and it'll basically track enemies relentlessly. But if you're on the receiving end, you'll know you've been targeted. It'll say you've been targeted by Laughing Ghost. You'll see it on the radar, and you can flip around and you can shoot Laughing Ghost out of the air, so you can counter that. But if you're in robot form and you throw the head, it doesn't go through the ground. So it's kind of like if you want the one that goes through walls and stuff, you need to kind of go, okay, I'm willing to do the truck and not have flight. So it's all these choices on the development side that we made in hopes of really fleshing out.
What does the design doc look like for this? Because we talked about it a bit yesterday.
Wait until I die and do a fucking what is it?
Brain
autopsy on my brain and Scott's brain.
Because it's like from anybody who just tunes in and looks at it like, oh, car combat, no big deal. And then you talk about like everyone has different stats and different things, and like you're trying to walk Clements through changing into a giant robot and flying away, but not using your turbo, but not getting frozen, but using your shield. Like. Is it just a giant Excel spreadsheet?
No, but you say that, and I take great pride in that.
Oh no, I mean that's what it is. It's a fighter. It totally is. That you get
in the sense, and again, that's why we at first we were like, okay, we do have a tutorial in here. It's off to the main screen. And it trains you in the basics of driving and using the shields and all that stuff. But ultimately, we were like, okay, when we tried to real-time tutorialize every weapon, every feature, it became just like, the worst. I'm a big Splinter Cell fan, but it became like the worst of Splinter Cell, which is like,
walk two steps, and here's how you shoot out a light.
And so we have this thing called Twist Metal University that's going up on the website in a week. That's just really for people who want to know the kind of, like, if you're watching this, you're like, dude, I just want to blow shit up. Fuck off, Jaffe. Then it's like, okay, don't even worry about it. But if you really want to kind of get to the nuance and
if you want to be the #1 player,
then go online and watch the videos and things like that. So
I hear real quick. This is that kid's question that I asked forever ago. Remember, if you want your question to be ignored by David Jaffe, tweet at IGN #TwistedMetal. I love Dollface and always have.
Sorry, can I pause you?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, so now you've just unlocked. Let's do this. Don't hit anything.
Okay.
Okay, because then we can talk and then get back to it. Maybe is that okay?
Okay, that's
It's your
fine.
show, dude.
We'll get one question, and then you can get back to
Okay,
it.
well, you fucking hit something.
I didn't. I promise.
I'm kidding.
I hit nothing.
Okay, but so as you just unlocked a sidearm, right? So you're basically hitting L1 to do your machine guns.
Okay. L2.
L2.
Yes.
Up until this
All right.
point. And I've had people on from our demo going, can you please reverse those? Because they're used to old school Twisted Metal where the weapons fired out of the left and the machine gun fired out of the right.
Right.
But what they'll see now, and the demo doesn't have any of the sidearms, as you start to unlock the sidearms, that's what your driver has. And obviously he's on the left side of the car. And so now you can say, okay, well I want to use my machine guns or I want to use the Uzi you just unlocked. So the machine guns that are mounted to the hood are just infinite. They, bang, 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 frequency of fire. You always have them. They do okay damage. The Uzi's like, obviously a fast rate of fire, but then you've got a bit of a cooldown. So you can get in, and we've got a shotgun, we've got rockets, we've got a magnum, we've got a laser pistol. As you unlock those, it really adjusts to your style and the car you've picked. So when you were driving Outlaw earlier, when you ultimately unlocked the shotgun sidearm, it's no better or worse than any other sidearm. It's not like suddenly you've got that, you never want to go back to anything else. It's if you like getting close, and you've got to get really, really close, you can fire the shotgun sidearm and it's double barreled. So if you just pound it once, it's 8 points, bang. If you hold it down, it's bang, bang, you fire both, you get 16 points. So if you're driving a car, hang on, come on.
No, you got the internet kids there, like they want to see stuff.
Okay, fine, that's fine. Fuck this generation. Fuck them to hell. But yeah, so
I love how the curse words come out and then 20 seconds later, you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to curse.
That's my life. That's my life.
Fine.
I fuck shit up and I apologize. That's my life.
Our producer.
Okay, I'm sorry. YouTube, I'm sorry. But anyway, point being is, so now you're driving Outlaw, and he likes to ram a lot. He's a really powerful rammer. And you've got the shotgun. Which is a great close combat weapon. And you've got the shotgun pickup. And suddenly, that's a great combination for people who like to get in and be a brawler. So let's answer the questions.
This is the question from Forever Ago.
Yes.
I love Dollface and always have since Black. Will her story be explained more and have relation to the one in Black?
I will not have the relation of the one in... Well... There are some little hardcore Twisted Metal...
Like nods.
But the absolutely, Dollface is one of our main characters, and her story is... She's probably my favorite story in the game, and yeah, we flesh her out a lot. And she's
how does that work? Because we started the single player story and it automatically launched us into Sweet Tooth. Is it when you finish Sweet Tooth, then you double back and you'd start?
Well, I could have explained it if you would have had some, let us pause for a moment.
We're in a hurry. Clements, look at him. Anxious to get into battle.
Yeah, but yeah. So no, it basically it's linear, right? So you can go back now. He could go back to Sun Springs and refight that battle. Fight it faster, get medallions. You can use to unlock skins and cars at the end of the game and things like that. But ultimately, we go through Sweet Tooth's story, and in a couple more levels, we'll see his middle movie.
Gotcha.
And then we'll see his end movie, and then we go to Mr. Grimm. And he has his own. He has some repeated levels, but are different events. Brand new levels. His own story. Same with Dollface. They each have a totally unique boss at the end of their event. So it's more of a linear, and then once you finished it, you can go back.
Gotcha.
And this is the level that we crashed on earlier, but this is Black Rock, which is, as you can see now, you've got the wrecking balls, the traps, there's your garage. In a second, we'll see these pads that you'll see on the side. So if you hit these pads, you'll launch people out of the audience, and then they'll have vests on that will either have question marks, and you don't know what you're going to get if you run over them, or they'll have health vests that will give you health. And then you also have a room in the center where there are really good pickups, which is we're calling like the Doom Room, which is basically these spikes. Oh, that's an advanced version of this. I think the Doom Room's not on in this one. It might be Dollface's version of the Doom Room. Okay. And then obviously all the electricity that you see, the walls go up and down. The walls, when they're down, a lot of times have electrical pads that you have to stay off of, or it'll slowly drain you. Roadboat's great. So if you go to Roadboat's Magnet, which is his special.
Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
So go to his alt.
No looking back.
Now hit triangle.
Yep.
Now you can basically hit that, it'll send out this beam, and if you can get somebody in the beam long enough, it'll suck them onto your car.
All right.
And then you can either charge that up by hitting fire. Yeah.
No, I missed it.
Try it again though. Hit triangle though.
How many specials do you get? Is it?
And they regen, so
Okay,
you can get up to a max of 3, and depending on the car you've picked.
Yeah.
Like Grimm's, or sorry, I keep saying Grimm, but Reaper's respawns much faster.
Okay.
This guy's an average respawner. And then you can like ram him into a wall. You can 6-axis ram him into a wall. You can charge him up and fire him into other players to do damage. You can fire him in levels like rooftops, off the rooftops, or you can just use his normal special, which just fires out the magnets, 3 of them, and those ricochet around the level. And on their first bounce, they each do you can get like up to 150 damage bonus points if you can kind of ricochet them off a wall in the first bounce. So again, all of this is. Oh, one more thing. I'm sorry. Shotgun right there. So the closer you are, obviously, the more damage you do. But if you can also get really close to the front driver's windshield, you'll get a point blank, and you'll get the most damage. So it's close, but it's also sort of proximity and sort of exactly where you're aimed.
Remember, everybody watching IGN's Twisted Metal live stream, to be part of the action, tweet at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Your question will get read. Maybe they'll win a game. I'm going to give a game here to 16-Bit Jeff. He writes in and says, even though black will be included in first print copies of Twisted Metal, will it be available on PSN at a later date?
I have to imagine it will. No one has said that to me, but I can't imagine once they've created kind of an electric copy, they're not going to sell it later down the road.
Totally, that would be my thing too. Yeah, no official word from Sony on that.
But I will say on Axel though, Axel is absolutely. I mean, they've assured me because when they said we want to do DLC or not DLC, we want to do pre-order with Axel.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, man. You know, it's like and we had a really great conversation about the value of pre-orders, and even though I get a lot of customers hate them. You know, I'll on a later date, if anyone wants to know, just tweet me. I'll explain what they say. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But anyway, I said, but we can't after that issue or whatever is over. We can't now sell it. That's absurd.
Yeah.
And so you're like, no. So it'll unlock. You'll have it. You'll still have to rank up to earn it. But it's not. We're not going to sell it on PSN.
That's the thing about most pre-order bonuses. It seems right. Is that
okay. So right here, here's Warthog. So I just get so excited about it. So when he's up like that, he will slam the shit out of you. But you see that weak point, he's exposing himself. So if you can do double damage, so if you launch anything under that, it's 2x.
Okay.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was talking about pre-order bonuses. It seems most of the time, right? Even if you get something, you eventually can get it in the game. Whether it be something that just unlocks naturally.
What's happening, David? David, what's happening?
No, your whole world is being turned upside down. You know, so.
Very inappropriate writes in at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal.
Okay,
is there a final, ultimate type boss after all the chapters, or does each character have a unique last boss?
Each character has a unique last boss. I mean, certainly they get bigger and grander and what we think of as more interesting as you go. They're not bullet sponge bosses. They're multi-stage bosses. They're designed to. There's some puzzle elements in them. They're definitely designed to change things up a bit.
Gotcha.
So yeah. And if you turn, you may have launched people already. They come out of the stands. So.
Sweet Tooth just goes
right by.
You got to sit on it for a couple seconds.
Oh, you do? Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, damn, it's Alex, tweets at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Who came up with the idea of Sweet Tooth transforming into a robot?
That was interesting. That was, they just came out. They just launched over there, I think. They're like sea monkeys. I see them. They're behind you, I think. There's
one.
Yeah, there's the drivers.
That's the driver.
Yeah, they're back that way.
And also
what happened was we had a guy on Twisted Metal Black, designer Steve Sergioli, and he's a big toy fan, big Transformers fan. And we were trying to come up with a special weapon for Spectre, and he said, let's have it transform into a robot. And I said, oh, and then we were like, and I think I was the one who said, well, that's great, but we shouldn't do it to Spectre, let's do it to Sweet Tooth, because he's got the head.
And he said, I quit, that's my
No, he was, and that's where it started from. And then obviously, and then Scott on this one was the one who said, let's make it fly this time. I was like, we gotta have it running around. Then he's like, well, let's have it fly like Iron Man. It's like, oh my God, cool. And then it's like, let's have him throw his head, you know. So it is like a big, everybody just kind of contributes and throws in their ideas, and the ones that really speak to the vision and speak to the game are the ones that make it in.
All right. Chromeberry tweets at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. What is Jaffe's favorite vehicle and character?
Ooh. My favorite vehicle is it changes. I really love going online in the demo right now with Reaper.
Yeah.
But it's a smarmy answer, but it's true. They really are like kids to us.
Yeah,
They all, because you know them so intimately. It's even like that annoying friend of yours. It's like, even though it's like most people will meet them and go, but you're like, but you gotta get to know them, So I know I can't answer that.
I'll answer for you. Meatwagon. Meatwagon is the best. Even though the Sweet Tooth twist and change in is pretty awesome. My
favorite story, like humanoid character, I guess, or human character, is probably. I can't answer that either. They're all, I was the writer on these stories, and they're all very, I relate to a lot of them. you know, and so I do. I mean, seriously, every single one of them.
If I had one wish in the world to catch the girl I didn't murder.
Every single one of them has, you know, when you're, I don't consider myself a professional writer at all, which you will soon see as you watch the stories. But you know, when you write something, I think it is important to kind of put a human element in them, and I think all of them have sort of a flaw or sort of a, even if they weren't psycho killers, that you can kind of look at and go, you know, that's a very relatable human aspect.
Come on.
So I can't answer that.
Okay. Can you answer this question? Butler Jason tweets at IGN, hashtag Twister Metal, just like you can at home. Jaffe, how'd you pop out of the womb so badass?
Well, what's his name again?
This is Butler Jason.
Yeah, I got a great non-YouTube answer. Sorry.
Oh,
how did I pop out of the womb so badass?
Well, Butler Jason, we'll give you a game, a copy of Twisted Metal on PS3.
I would love to answer you, but they're like...
You can follow David
really
Scott Jaffe on Twitter. I'm sure he will give you the real answer there.
Why did I use the shotgun that far away, David?
Don't know.
Who knows?
Here we go. Juggalo Brink tweets at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Did you always know the characters' biographies from the beginning, or were they created and expanded for each game?
They're absolutely created and expanded. I mean, Sweet Tooth started as me sitting at a table with Alan Becker and Mike Guillaume and Scott Campbell and Kellen Hatch, who kind of were the initial creatives of the title, and it was like, let's come up with a list of cars on the whiteboard. And it was like, oh, okay. And I was like, somebody brought up Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive that has the semi-truck with the big gobbler on the front. Yeah. And we're like, that's got a lot of personality. I said, let's do a clown ice cream truck. And from there, it went to a great concept artist who's been working on Halo for a long time, Lee Wilson, who came back to us, who was doing freelance concept art, who anthropomorphized the head, and he was laughing, anyway. So this is good. This is great because this is now you start to see those first two were deathmatch.
Right.
Now we start getting into what's called the electric cage match, which is different.
Okay, got it.
And it's all still car combat. It's not like getting out of the car and going on missions. It's still vehicle combat.
All right. Clements, if you win this, we get another cool cutscene.
All right, cool.
So win this.
I got it.
And then we'll go back to multiplayer.
Let your
Clearly,
viewers
really
know.
reliable.
Obviously, I mean it's spoilery, right? So if they're gonna start watching this,
they know what they're in for.
Okay.
You get one more cutscene.
And you are playing normal mode, so you know. So a lot of people have been playing the demo and they've been saying, "This is fucking sorry. This is hard." And it's like, there was so much going on. We apologize. We released the single player. It's like, dude, that is really hard. So as you can see, we play tested the crap out of our campaign to make sure that the normal, it's friendly, but we definitely have hard. We have crazy twisted modes that are going to just decimate you and challenge you. But this is not meant to be come in and it's like pound you into the ground. And so hopefully your viewers will see that it's a.
And I mean, I'm doing terribly, but I'm still beating. I'm still accomplishing something. So.
Do you like the holidays, Sweet Tooth?
So this is that's Calypso. So he's basically narrating, and so what makes this one different is you'll see this thing called the electric cage, which in development we always called the Red Ring of Death, is what we called it. But it's basically.
I wonder why.
I know, but basically it's this thing that you'll see that you have to basically stay inside, and you have a grace period depending on the difficulty mode. I think it's 30 seconds here, normal. And you can get out of it. You can stay out of it as long as you want until that grace period goes down, and then your health starts to drain. You'll die if it gets to 0. So it's kind of the risk-reward of getting out to get weapons, the health semi, going to a garage to change your car, but also making sure you're always staying close enough in it in order to fight the enemies and kill the enemies. So the core rule set is still deathmatch in this particular event, kill all the enemies. But you also have to make sure that you take that new aspect into account. So the characters though, so anyway, so he comes back with Sweet Tooth is all anthropomorphized and things. It's like, oh, we just thought it was going to be a big head on top. Now it's, and then marketing takes it and they put it on the box and they, made it more of a character. Yeah. And it just kind of evolves. I mean, every game I've ever worked on, it's I'm sure there are games out there where they start with this huge Bible, but production of like, this is the character, this is the story, but production and writing and creating, it's all happening in tandem. And so an artist may come up with something that fuels the story, and the story guy may come up with something that fuels a programmer going, oh, well, in your cutscene he does this. I have some tech that'll let you do that in the game, So it's a very kind of fluid, process.
Gotcha.
And every game then subsequently, we're talking sequels, every game is even adds on top of that.
Now here's the one, I've played the multiplayer demo, I'm enjoying myself.
Cool.
This looks great. The one disappointing thing I'm noticing, not one trophy has popped yet. Is this an obtainable platinum trophy? Am I gonna have to put years and years and years of my life into it?
I wonder why you haven't got a trophy yet. We actually are.
I'm terrible at the game.
No, I mean, we do have trophies, and we made, you know, I reached out to the Twitter community, and it was like, okay, what are the ones you guys like? What are the ones you guys hate?
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like, dude, we hate these online trophies that make you do this, that, and the other. There are a few online trophies, but they're not, you know, they're not. None of them are kind of crazy online trophies.
Yeah,
so, for example, we did a live chat the other day where Justin, one of our head QA guys, great guy out in Utah, was like, somebody says, what's your favorite trophy? And he says, I like this one where I think it's like you have to kill yourself with a bounce back freeze. So if you EMP freeze someone and hit them again, the freeze will come back to you.
Yeah.
It'll only do 1 point of damage, but if you kill yourself that way, you get a trophy. And people online were saying, oh, well, that's going to suck because you're going to have people in ranked games like screwing shit up just to get the trophy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we made sure that was only in free-for-all games and not team games. And certain ones aren't in ranked games. And you know, we just made sure that even the online trophies that we have are not, you know, absurd.
Yeah.
You know, but then we do have some real hardcore trophies, but it's not meant to be.
Whoa. It's meant to be obtainable.
It's meant to be obtainable.
Yeah, dancing car. We got a question here from Frankie Chains. He tweets at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. He just won himself a copy of the game. I was always a huge fan of the music in Twisted Metal, especially since 3. Can we expect another awesome soundtrack?
It depends on who you ask. We have about 20 original songs. You know, I don't know much. I don't follow music a lot. Like, I know what I like.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't. You know, like there's a guy. I guess who's the guitar player for Primus. Was one of the writers of our lead song, which people on the demo have heard, and a lot of people are like, oh, we love that song.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's written by this guy Larry Lalonde. I don't know who that is. I was like, oh my god, you know. So we have 20 original songs that are really, really cool, and we think we're really proud of them. We got the guy who did the soundtrack to Drive Angry and Piranha 3D, kind of a horror guy, does a lot of horror stuff.
Gotcha.
Wrote a lot of the music for the movies. But then we also have licensed music. So we have stuff like Judas Priest is in here. We have Sammy Hagar doing I Can't Drive 55.
Really?
Heavy metal.
That's awesome.
We have NWA Straight Outta Compton. We have Ghostface Killer. You know, so we have a lot of people were like, oh, well, you know, rap and Twisted Metal, that's not going to fit. And it's like, you know, it's more about picking the songs that fit kind of the aggressive, kind of rebellious.
So where do those songs come up? Like I know
they're playing right now.
Okay.
Your volume's really.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't. To me, this sounds like an original track. It doesn't sound like I Can't Drive.
It's all mixed. It's it's random. And then there's also custom soundtracks. So if you want to play Barry Manilow or whatever it is that you like to shoot cars with, that's Taylor Swift. I have little girls.
Greg will totally play Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's like I get along well with your family.
Yeah, you know, it's like Back to December, Dad, play it again. I'm like, all right, sure.
It's a jam. All right, let's
I'll shoot some people and you listen to Taylor Swift.
You see, it brings everybody together around the TV.
Yeah, but so I'm super proud of the soundtrack, the guys who put it together. But a lot of people at first were kind of like, oh, you're going to do all those 70s, 80s, 90s metal, you know, songs. And I've been real happy that the demos come out, and I've seen a lot of people really, you know, digging the soundtrack and saying, you know, in real life, I'd never be caught dead in my car playing I Can't Drive 55. But in the context of the game, it really works.
It makes
sense.
So
we're real proud of that. We're happy about it.
This is a really cool mode, by the way, David. Like, I like how it just adds a whole nother layer to the fact that now I have to stay in this.
Do you know what? I appreciate that. Thank you. You know what bums us out is well, I'm not gonna. This. Okay, here's a question. Your guy said, "What did you cut?" Right?
Yeah.
Well, this ring originally moved. And this ring originally, so it was animating. It wasn't cutting place to place to place to place. It was like it was.
Oh,
wow! It was shrinking and growing.
Gotcha.
And it was really cool. And honestly, we wanted it online. And maybe if the game's successful enough and we do DLC or something, we can get that mode back in. But we just weren't able to get online and offline and the AI playing properly with that constantly changing AI points, because all these cars are moving based on sort of AI like intelligence as well as these little points all around the level. And as the track was moving and you were playing like online, like with bots, or not online, but like 2-player split screen challenge with bots, we couldn't get it done in time. So
I see. Rogue X, Justin Forsyth, he writes in at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. I'm a single player gamer.
So like you're special right now. So your normal special, you just pound the button, you get chain guns.
Right.
But if you go to triangle, you'll notice you start to fill it up, and you'll see it's going to go red in a second. So you hit charge, and now when you missed it, but when it's red, you can hit it again.
Okay.
And try to get it in that little window.
Okay, got it.
Okay, what's your?
Oh, Justin Forsyth. I'm a single player gamer. How many hours would you say I can get out of Twisted Metal single player only?
We did playtest, the last playtest, we did 2 playtests since we went gold. And we, I'd use a shield, dude, if I were you. And get that health if you can. Now you're on the ice, that's why he's driving so screwy.
Oh, okay.
So we did, sorry.
Get the health, get the health.
I'm going.
And so we did some playtests in Santa Monica, a couple of them after we went gold. And we had guys, they came in at 9:30 and they left at 7, and we had 2 guys finish the game in 1 day. So they were about 6 hours on this difficulty mode, and then we had people on the far end of that were there for 2 days, and it was now you're out of the cage and you're out of grace.
Right.
So
I'm trying.
Right, and part of it is kind of the learning of, okay, now next time I know I have to balance, I know where it goes, I know where the health is, I know where the garage is, things like that. And turbo, you know what turbo is, right?
Yes, double tap.
Okay, double tap.
Square.
Go,
I might not make it, man. I'm gonna try and get this health on the way.
No. Because you're right. No, you're smart. I'm dumb.
You're smart. I'm dumb.
But anyway, and so those guys ended up taking into the second day, and they never finished. So I would say though, and again, you're playing right now on the default mode. If you pick it up and you've played Twisted Metal before, and you're a Twisted Metal fan, I would say you've probably, just to get through normal without sort of getting all the medals and stuff like that, I would say you're probably looking at 5 to 8 hours.
Okay.
But then obviously when you throw in, the multiple difficulty modes. But honestly, I've said this before, the real longevity of this game is in the multiplayer. This is, I've always been like, games are too expensive. But this is a game that if you like it, it's like 30 plus maps, it's 17 vehicles.
How does it work online? Are you leveling up? Is there something?
There's a persistence in, we can go through that, there's a persistence in the ranks. And you rank up, and as you rank up, you go to our unlock screen when you want to. You don't have to go there if you don't want to. And you can unlock cars, sidearms, new advanced attacks, and skins, and again, it's none of it is unbalanced. We're very serious about the fighting game idea. And what I was saying to some people last night was, it's kind of like we don't look at it like Call of Duty, even though we love Call of Duty. We look at it like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. And so to us, it's kind of the equivalent of if you rank up in a Street Fighter game, which I know you don't do, but if you were like you do, but if you were leveling up.
Oh shoot.
In a Street Fighter game, it would be like, okay, I'm at level 7, now Chun-Li gets a machine gun and can just shoot Ken in the head. So it's definitely not, it's not that. Everything is balanced. And you can choose those. So you go there and it's like, okay, you get a token. So, by the way, guys, this is why when we sent out the review code and we said, okay, make sure you update to the patch on day 1. This is like in this square, the cars were taking too long to get to the square. I'm like, no, I hate that, so that's fixed. But anyway, so even like your napalm you're about to fire, so the closer they are to the center of napalm, the more damage you do.
Okay. It can hurt you too, Clements.
It can hurt you too.
All right,
you can
I'll watch out for that. Also, I'm about to die. Sorry, guys.
You can learn to get a direct hit. The cage is right behind you.
But I was hoping to get to the garage. I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
Yep.
Nope. Greg, I failed us.
That's okay. You want to do some multiplayer?
Yeah.
Do you think the team is ready?
I think so.
All right, let's give it a shot.
While we wait, we have more questions.
Before you load up, why don't you go to multiplayer? I'll show you the rank up screen I was talking to you about.
Great.
While we do that, Alex Page 40 asked a question, and I know there's no direct answer, I'm sure.
Okay.
At IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Will Twisted Metal possibly be coming to the PlayStation Vita at some point?
It's possible, but I mean, it's not. It's no one. Basically, I've been asked this question a lot. We're big fans of the Vita. The Vita is very, very cool.
Yeah.
It's a question, honestly, Sony was amazing to us because we're a new studio and they were like, okay, here's an extension. Here's another extension. Here's another extension, And we just took a long time. A lot of it is because of that, lots of building in all the weapons and depth and nuance. But a lot of it is just, we're a smallish team. We're 35 people. And so it's never even come to us. They're like, dude, finish Twisted Metal. No one's kind of like, let's show you the Vita. It's like, no, just focus, get this game done, please. So we love the Vita. I don't want to work on another Twisted Metal right now.
Okay,
so if somebody
do something different you want, or you want to do?
David?
Okay, so if you don't jump in yet, so if you go back.
Okay.
And you go over to your profile. So there's all the leaderboards. You go to your profile. And go over to rewards.
Oh, rewards, got it. That's where I was going.
So these are story unlocks, but if you go over to online unlocks and hit X, So basically, you've got vehicle, and you can hit X, go to vehicles, right? So this is the ranked unlock. So you open with like, I think it's 5 or 4 or 6 cars unlocked. Again, all of these are balanced. So even if you go down to the very last one, which is Juggernaut down there, you know, Reaper, who's one of the weakest cars in armor, will take him out if he learns how to do it. When he opens up his back doors to let his buddies in, anything you throw in there that's like a missile will do 2x damage, right?
Okay.
So anyway, point is, so if you rank up, if you level up, it says, hey, I want to go to our unlocks, and you can choose whatever you want to spend. So it's like, I want to spend on a vehicle for tier 1, or if you go to upgrades, you say, well, no, I'd rather get the Uzi or the shotgun or the advanced mine or the kill streaks, or that's the absorption shield in tier 3, you know, or you can go over to skin packs and unlock that. Now, if you back out from here and you see paint shop over, back out one more. You see custom paint shop. A lot of people have been asking about the customization. So we let you customize the vehicle visual. We don't want to suddenly be like, you know, you can add, you know,
armor and steel plating
because
and tires
it breaks the balance, right? But in the game that we ship with, you'll be able to go in with the skins that we ship with and that you unlock. We also have a deal with Nas Energy Drink, which is we have an amazing artist named Dave Wilkins who's done. He actually did the cover for Street Fighter Marvel Capcom.
Okay.
You know, the latest one. So I mean, great, amazing artist, and he's done some custom skins for us that you can download and put in the game. And then obviously the skins that you have.
I'm going back.
That's
I'm going back.
The skins that you have that we've launched with and that you download, you know, then you can go in and change the color and do all the stuff you want.
Gotcha.
But we also allow players to go on starting, I think it's the 11th, but we're not entirely sure yet, of February, so before the game launches, to twistedmetal.com, and you'll be able to go to sort of a total customizer on the website that will let you do whatever you want. So you can not just change colors, add decal stickers, you can upload whatever pictures you want in the car.
I can make an IGN car?
Yes, you can you can also download the actual, so you can do that on the website.
Yeah.
But if you're a really good artist, you can also, right on the website, you can download the template that our artists use in Eatsley Play.
That's cool, man.
And take it into Photoshop, do whatever you want with it, and then you upload it back to the community. So really good artists, like I can't do shit. I can it's a blue car and there's a picture of my kid on it, I'm done. You know?
Now we're going to kill people.
But then if you go to the website, all those things get shared and rated. So if you've got like a clan or a party or just you're a free-for-all guy, you can go up and find an awesome skin that somebody's made and make that your own, or you can lock it into your clan. So what I love about it is, I miss those days of like Quake when you'd see people running around like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger.
Right.
You know, and today's shooters are very serious, and I get that. Twisted fiction is serious, like the characters take the world serious. It's not like, I love Saints Row 3, but it's not that over the top.
Right.
But when you're in multiplayer, we wanted players to be able to really express themselves and how they fight, and also just sort of how they look. And there's so much great surface areas on vehicles that you have a lot of room to play with. So we're excited to see what the community does.
Frederick here, he tweets at IGN, #TwistedMetal. Any chance you can use story unlocks in multiplayer mode?
Yes, there are two really, really, really hard. There's only two. There's a sidearm and there's a vehicle that are extremely hard. So you know if you've seen somebody online with that, you're like, okay, that guy is
serious.
Yeah,
serious
but
business.
it's not lots. It's basically I don't remember if the story skins. I think you only can get those in story as well, and then you can take those online. I think.
If I upload and make my car your kid's face on it, can I bring that into single player, or is that only online?
I believe you can bring the single player as well. I believe it's almost like 5 different games running there. There's the split screen multiplayer. There's the online multiplayer. There's the co-op split screen. There's so many that I'm trying to. I want to give you the right answer, but I'm like, wait, what did we decide on that? So.
Was there a guy just dressed in a squirrel costume too?
Yeah, this is the theme park, and this has all the mascots running around that you can run over.
All right.
I think you're playing, I don't know what you're playing, I think you're probably playing Deathmatch.
Yeah, it was a deathmatch.
And I think you're playing we have like 7 or 6 scoring modes in Deathmatch. So we have sort of dog eat dog is what we call, I get made fun of, I think the team hates that name, but I just called it that, and no one gave me a better idea, so let's call it dog eat dog.
Yeah.
But it's basically sort of old school Twisted Metal, which people, it's a lot of kill stealing. So basically what happens is when you see somebody in the red, which means they're about to die, it's like vultures. Everyone's like, they want to get the kill. But that's not our ranked mode. Our ranked mode is, I think, what you're playing here, which is kills give you points based on your contribution to the kill.
Exactly, I was going to say.
You either pull the trigger. Sorry, go ahead.
This is what people are playing right now in the demo.
Right, so if you poach a kill, you can do that, but you're only going to get about 25 points.
Gotcha.
So if you did all the work, and somebody came in and took him out with one bullet, we'll still give that guy 25 points, but the guy that did all the work does 75.
Gotcha.
If you did all the damage, you get like 125 points. Gotcha. And then we have things, we have Carnage mode, which is only damage. Kills only matter that you get a little bit of a bonus kill.
Yeah.
We have net Carnage, which is if you get, it's based on damage, but we'll also take damage away if you're getting hit. We have kills, we have net kills, and if you die, you'll lose a score. So all that stuff in unranked that we were talking about that really, health semis on, health semis off, traffic's on, traffic's off, all the different modes like nuke and last minute standing all have their own suite of unranked host settings for local split screen as well as online to really allow players, that's when you were asking, I was talking about the value of the game. To me, it's one of the things I'm most proud of, that if you like this game and love this game like we do, $60 is like, I usually bitch about $60, but there are some games that are worth it. Yeah. This game is not worth it if all you want to play is, Japanese RPGs. It's probably not for you.
Yeah, Clements.
But if you love games like this and if you love Twisted Metal, it's going to entertain you for a really, really long time.
Gotcha. Do you want to come write the IGN wiki for this? Because I feel like there's a lot of information you could put in it. I just want to read all the stats.
I'd like to write the review for it if I could.
We'll see
that's a bit different.
I know.
What do we got here? The Real Hades tweets at IGN.
Oh,
hashtag Twisted Metal.
He follows me.
Yeah, does he really?
I think he's a TMA guy. Let me see his picture.
I'm getting him here. Is that right? David Hades Becker. Does that make sense?
I think might be.
He asked, was the game designed with full story DLC in mind for the future?
No, there's zero DLC planned for this game. The only reason we're going to do DLC is if it's successful.
Gotcha. So buy it. Real Hades, don't buy it. We're giving you the game. You get a copy for free.
Curse.
Another $1 out of your pocket, Jeffy.
I wish I got $1 for every copy sold. Are you kidding?
Okay, awesome. Here we go. Alec Vaughn tweets at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. I am really interested in the new Capture the Flag mode. Can you explain how it works?
I can. I can show you too. Hopefully we'll show you. Should I?
You want to wait? You want to sit on that one? You want to sit on that one? Okay.
We'll speak to it when we come up. And again, you can change your car. You can change your sidearms
there. Yeah, beautiful.
Are you seeing Ryan get better?
I was trying not to watch because I figure whenever I watch, I want to talk, and I don't answer your Twitter.
Oh no, you're fine. Okay. You watch and talk now. You give us some critiques.
Okay, well, let's see. Critiques. So he's using the Uzi, right? So he's you want to get close. It's got again, the sidearms also have different aiming and auto aiming. So that one actually has a little bit of auto targeting. He's about to die. Yep. Now he just did.
I keep forgetting the special, the D-pad moves too.
Yeah, and then you've also got the 6-axis ram when you get close. This is a great rammer. If you go in and if you double tap, going up there actually, bust out through there.
Oh, okay, I can.
Yeah, there's a lot of
BTW, love that all the levels are destructible like this.
Yeah, go to the back. I want to show you one of my favorite things. Go turn around. Yeah, so go into the haunted house. You can't go in that way.
Where we just were?
Yeah, go in through the side door. And this was all. I love. It's any team you work on, but it's always good when I love this room. So I load up the game one day and somebody's fucking built this room. I'm like, I love that you sit on the pads and it spins you around. You can actually go up to the walls and it's all this weird kind of psychedelic, weird pseudo 3D. So, but this, its levels fill. Kind of. Let me try for a second.
All right.
So I just love the fact that there's so much variety in the spaces and destructibility. So I got to figure out how to get out of here now. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so that's the back. Now I know where I am. So now you can kind of go in the top. It's really dark on this TV. I'm not sure if that's...
It's not showing up for them. Yeah, it's just us and this crappy TV.
And then what I love is you can kind of get into the... So here's like the hall of like crazy paintings, and now you can kind of go up to the top, go into the behind the scenes. So the levels are just, the levels aren't necessarily huge if you're playing with a one-on-one fight, although you can fight in a one-on-one fight like that.
Right.
But like all the big levels are built basically for a game like Nuke. So here's like the Stalker that you can basically charge up. And the more you charge it, the more it homes. So let's see if I can take this guy. Cool. So like even like here's the remote bomb, right? So the remote bomb, usually you just kind of fire it, it ricochets off a wall. It's a great sort of powerful punch. It knocks people back off rooftops. But now you can also charge it up. And if you charge it, either charge it forward or back, it sends out a reticle on the ground, and you can get like multiple enemies at the same time. So again, that idea of sort of multiple functions for all the weapons or most of the weapons. But anyway, so you can go all the way to the top of this thing, fight up top. The big levels are designed for Nuke, though. You drive, because I'm just going to sit around and talk, if you don't mind. The big levels are all designed for Nuke, though. So like if you're sitting on top of that haunted house, and you see a guy on the other side of the other castle, which is like Merlin's castle, which is more themed kind of, sword and sorcery, you see it over there, you can take your sniper rifle out and he's trying to sacrifice the enemy in nuke mode, for example, and you can take him out from across the level. You can go up into the roller coaster at the top, which is like, there's battlegrounds up there. There's a pirate ship you can fight on underneath the roller coaster. So it's just, I just love the scope of it and the variety of it. But then for a game like Nuke or a big deathmatch like this, it works really well. But then if you're just like, dude, I just want to fight my buddy from college I played in the dorms with, I want to just do one-on-one.
Yeah.
Again, you've got 30 plus levels of varying sizes, and most of the modes work in all of them. Obviously, Nuke only works in the big 8. Because it's specifically designed for that, but any of the other modes can work in any of the levels. So.
Watching online here, this is Twisted Metal's big jump to the current generation.
Yes.
What were the lessons you took from Calling All Cars, which was another online, car combat game?
A lot, really. I mean, the two biggest ones, the biggest one, there's so many lessons. The two biggest ones, I guess, are value. We came out, we were one of the first PSN titles that ever came out. $9.99, sure, that sounds good. There was no app store at the time, no one knew, 99 cents, so we got a great review from you guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fans who still love that game, but
I'm one of them.
Okay, and I appreciate that. But it wasn't a huge hit for us, and one of the complaints we got was value. It was kind of like, there's only 4 levels, there's only 3 weapons, and I'm like, but it's $9, and it's like, that taught me, and taught Scott, it's like, you can never put enough value, and so that's why we're super proud of the number of levels, the number of vehicles, the number of weapons, all the host settings,
well, that's
all
the whole
the
thing
modes.
about it, right? I mean, it's trying to unlock all this stuff and understand it and find what's right for you
Then
and
if
what's
you're
the sidearm
into it,
you love and what
we want to treat you so great and say there's so much here for you. But the other thing we learned was stickiness, right? Which was a lot of people said, Calling All Cars would have done better if it would have had, even though there weren't trophies at the time, but if it would have had trophies, if it would have had leaderboards, and I'm sure that's true. But I always compared Calling All Cars to like a really awesome, sweet piece of bubblegum, but it lost its flavor very quickly. And you might want to go back and play it. I always wanted to go back and play it every couple of weeks. But after one and a half matches, I felt like, okay, I got my fill.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was really a good lesson, because it was like, I think in Calling All Cars, we did a really good job of sort of getting the chaotic party game part of it down.
Yeah.
Sort of, again, we're talking about the shallow end of the pool. But we didn't do a great job with building the depth and building, again, that trapeze, that desire to go, I want one more game, not just because I'm trying to level up. A lot of games in shooter genre these days have done a great job with the meta game, and a lot of the reasons you'll play one more game is because you want to get that bar to the next thing, to get the next thing. But we wanted to find a way in this, and Calling All Cars really showed us, you just got...
Sniped.
Yeah.
Big time.
We wanted to find a way in this game that the reason you want to play again is because you genuinely feel there's more that you can learn to do better next time. And there's always another way to compete and improve. So that was what I think we were lacking in Calling All Cars, which was that, we had the dessert, right? We had the gum, but we wanted to build the 7-course meal this time and really actually create something. Again, I say, gameplay nutrition is really it's an obnoxious thing to hear someone say probably, but it resonates with me when I hear it in my head. Because I want it to be a meal,
For me, like, what I loved about Calling All Cars, and I miss as, it goes on, is the fact that the split screen was so much fun. That's why I'm excited to see it here, you know what I mean? To have friends over and just have a beer and play. Because that's what we did. I remember I would bring the PS3 back and forth from work to home, and we would just sit there and do Calling All Cars
very cool.
nonstop.
Split screen was big for us.
Enough of my questions. We'll start. Remember, you want to be part of the show at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Just like J Mark 2K did, he tweets, does Twisted Metal support 3D?
Does not know.
Okay, easy enough.
I mean, I can talk about it if you like.
Yeah, sure. Is it just because there's so much stuff going on?
No, I mean, it was basically, maybe we'll run a Nuke game. I don't know if you guys are in contact with San Diego, but maybe we can run a Nuke game next to answer that guy's question about. But before you jump in, maybe I could walk through the different modes.
Yeah, sure. Can we see them from my interface on this end?
We can see them from the interface, yeah.
Okay.
Can we see them from my interface?
They'll set up a game for you, but back out of the game, go to quit.
Okay. Oops. If I can select the right thing.
Right. And then go to create game.
Okay.
Excuse me. And then go to, so room settings, hit that first. Now this is your initial, you launch from it. This is just, let's say unranked for now. You don't want to do a ranked game.
Okay.
Okay, and then now you've got your various modes. So you've got deathmatch, you've got last man standing, hunted, which is kind of one guy's designated the hunted. He can score only by killing other people, and you can only score if you kill the hunted and you become the hunted.
Got it.
And then you've got the next one. You've got team deathmatch, team last man. Now this has The default mode is shared lives, so you're all sort of sharing a pool of lives besides your initial spawn. So you want to use a little bit of the class-based stuff like transport vehicles like Juggernaut the Semi, Talon the helicopter, or Junkyard Dog who can heal his teammates to kind of keep that going. So that, and then you also can host set it and say, I only want to do, you know, it's a team game, but we all have our own group of lives, and it's 1 spawn or 20 spawns, whatever you want to do. Team hunted is basically hunted, but it's you're trying to protect your hunted and also take out the enemy's hunted, so it's splitting your focus. And then we have nuke, which we'll jump into. And if you actually go down for nuke for a second, if you go to X and hit apply settings, oh, I think I screwed up. I think I should hit triangle. There's a whole advanced settings list that you'll see.
I can back out of this.
Go to settings again, right there. And then now hit X and hit triangle. And so now you've opened up all the advanced settings. So this gives you a lot more choices. How many faction leaders? Are they randomly spawned? Are they unlimited weapons, single weapon? Does the faction leader give you health or not when you pick them up? All kinds of things that really change up the game. So,
awesome.
So if you jump into their game now, they've got new. What we were talking about? We're answering somebody's question about
3D.
Yeah, no. Honestly, it's, again, the team's small, and it's where do we put our resources?
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it would have been a massive effort. I mean, whenever I automatically assumed that 3D was going to kill frame rate, and people were like, well, it doesn't have to, and there's tricks you can use and stuff. But part of it, honestly, was just, you know, we had our hands full just getting this game out.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing 3D at GDC for the first time, running with MotorStorm Pacific Rim, and I'm like, oh, I pulled. I think it was Tina who runs external in Santa Monica, and I said, oh, we have to do this. And it just we were never able to kind of get on board because of time.
Gotcha. We talk about frame rate. Austin Eller tweets at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Mr. Jaffe, I heard the game runs at 100 frames per second. Is that true?
Pretty sure that's not true. I think if you play a game 100 frames per second, you go back in time. I think that's so, but it runs solid. One of the things I've loved hearing people online that have gotten into the demo say is that they're really surprised by, not that lag is frame rate, but lack of lag for the most part.
Yeah.
Some guys, like I'm in Iceland, and the lag, I can kind of notice it, but not that much.
Yeah.
I love that he's like, you know, but the lack of lag and the frame rate has been really rock solid, but I'm pretty sure it's not at 100.
The thing we've talked about before, because, you know, Clements and Colin went and saw it a little while ago down in Santa Monica, and I hadn't seen it since, I think, E3, or maybe even a little bit before that. But anyways, I remember we were talking about how much better it looks. You know what I mean? As far as just the graphic fidelity of the maps, of the cars, of the explosions, how far it's come to now that it can be this fast-paced, crazy, you know, explosions everywhere, and it looks great. Cool. Now, do you want to explain nuke?
I do. So you're on the offense of it basically switches offense-defense. You have, in the ranked game, you have 5-minute rounds. You have a statue that you see his health on the middle right screen. That's the health of the enemy statue. And if you look at your radar, he's right ahead of you in the football stadium of the enemy high school over there. You'll see it. There's Dollface. So you're fighting the dolls. And so there's these faction leaders scattered around the level. There's I think they're fighting with 2 of them right now. They've got it set to 2. And you're trying to run over them, and you drag their humans, and you drag them behind your car, and you lead them to these, let's go to a missile launcher that you'll see on your radar and on your HUD. Okay. Which are those little green? A green one means it's moving, and a white one means it's stationary. I may have that flipped. Doesn't matter because you don't have a faction leader. So your job at this point is either to escort and protect your guy to help him get to the sacrifice missile launcher, where they'll sacrifice the enemy faction leader and earn your team a missile. And when they do, they'll want to fly it into the statue. So when you don't have the faction leader, you can use the right stick, by the way, to look up and down a little bit. So when the missile's in the air, and we also have, somebody just dropped it. So you could be doing a couple things right now. You could be going, I'm going to wait by one of these faction leader pads where I think they're going to respawn. Because if they drop it, I can be there ready to go. I'm healed up. I've got a good cache of weapons. You could be escorting. You could be kind of hanging out around the map looking for the guys that you know tend to like to shoot the missile down. So if the missile goes up in the air, they're going to try to shoot it down, and then your job is to protect the missile while it's in the air. Or you could be driving around collecting health and prepping for the next phase. Or if you're like some people, you're just playing deathmatch. I'm going to shoot stuff, you know. And people like Jaffe, we love this mode, but there are people who just play deathmatch. Like, I can't help that. But
exactly. That benefits you as a character who's not.
Yeah.
At events when I knew what I was doing and other people were just running around trying it, I love the fact that I actually got to shoot the missile and do this. And
this mode really is kind of the ultimate kind of, you know, it's us trying to say this is our class-based light team gameplay. It's not Team Fortress. It's not that class-based.
Yeah.
But this all the modes are. But the team modes are really about, you know, all the cars sacrifice the faction leader at different speeds. So if you're like a very fast sacrificer, you want to kind of work with other teammates who have a lot more armor to protect you. Kamikaze is one of our sports cars, sacrifices really fast. But it's also, she's a great escorter because she's got an EMP blast that goes out in the ring and will freeze everybody all around you.
Gotcha.
You know, you only have limited numbers of vehicles that are class-based. So a lot of people are like, well, I'll just take Talon the helicopter and I'll have a bunch of helicopters in the air when I'm playing defense, and I'll shoot your missile down. It's like, yeah, but you only get 3 Talons for the entire game. So when you want to bring out Talon, when you want to bring out Juggernaut, who's the big semi, that's kind of the best team.
There's the missile. You see it going, right.
And you want to
the player has control of that.
That's right. And these guys in red are going to be trying to shoot that down. So you want to see, it'll see somebody's attacking your missile. TMX clad SD's attacking your missile. And over the course of a game, you'll start to know, there's the mobile missile launcher, that one's always moving. You'll start to know the guys that are like playing, you know, offense that way. And you'll go, okay, so he looks like he's up in the mountains. So you might say, okay, my job is to play defense while my statues and my missiles in the air. But anyway, you only have a couple of Talons and Juggernauts, and so the best teams are going to be the ones that say, in clans and stuff, who say, okay, we like to bring out Juggernaut for the end game. We like let's blow through our Talons to get as many points as we can in the first inning. And we're okay with the fact that that might be where we get most of our points.
Is there a clan structure in this game?
There is. It's not SOCOM in the sense that it's you know, we don't have ladders and stuff. We have the ability to form clans, for the clan leader to communicate with clans, and to set up unranked games with lots of host settings.
That's cool.
And then our website obviously has some leaderboards and things like that. But our thought was, again, it's not a new franchise, but in a lot of ways it is. Certainly playing it this way. Our hope is that it forms with the skins and all that stuff, that we form a huge clan community and a huge competitive multiplayer community, but we wanted to put our effort and resources into building the game. And usually what happens, like we saw this on Warhawk, was that there was enough passion for it that they kind of came on board and built that in different websites. And then we're like, hey man, if it's a hit, yeah, let's go crazy with the sequel if we ever made a sequel, and clan it out with all those really great options. But to put those options in when we don't know if they're going to...
I mean, that's the big question, right? Because Twisted Metal has such a following, and I mean, people still love it and talk about it, and now are they going to adopt it again? And then does it become that they're online playing nonstop, or are they inviting their friends over and playing nonstop?
This is to me, I mean, every game you make, we did God of War. I remember walking into a GameStop 3 weeks before it came out, and I saw the Coming Soon box. And it was way up high on the shelf. And my buddies who work there, not that one, but just people I know, they're like, yeah, when we put it up high, it means we don't think it's going to sell. So it's in the middle, you know. So even with God, you know, you never know, right? I mean, unless you're Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, you know, you never really know what you're going to get when you hit retail. So, but this one in particular has been really challenging, because we'll have days and weeks where we'll see things and go, man, we have a big audience out there that cares about this, and then we'll have people go, yeah, you guys, you know, good luck with that. You know, so I have no clue. It's exciting and terrifying at the same time.
You mentioned God of War there. Christian Basped, he writes in at IGN, #TwistedMetal, wins himself a copy of the game. His question is Kratos in the game?
Kratos is not in the game. I will say that there are nods and some Easter eggs in the game to games I've worked on, games that I've worked on with. They were single track at the time and Incognito, and that they've worked on their own. But it's not like you're going to see Kratos driving around in a chariot, you know, as a DLC or as an unlocked character.
But it's interesting. Sweet Tooth now made the jump to Starhawk. He's got this crazy Starhawk skin in there.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, it wasn't something that came up because we weren't sitting around going, we have so much extra time. Let's make, you know.
Man, our game's in the can in 3 months.
I was sitting with San Diego and Utah QA like 3 days ago changing numbers for tuning, right? So it's down to the wire. But a lot of it too was, you know, I mean, you know, this is a re-establishment of the fiction and the world and the IP, and I like Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I love that kind of stuff. But it's kind of like we wanted to kind of plant the flag and say, this is what Twisted Metal means in 2012, and down the road, to kind of do crazy stuff like that. But we didn't want to launch with that. Now, so now let's take Roadkill. A lot of people online are they say, oh, you know, Roadkill is, he's kind of like Death Warrant. But actually, Roadkill's, I can't go into God mode because you're on the retail copy, but Roadkill's has a lot of things that make them really different, right? The first thing is whenever you have a special, if you pull down on it, if you pull down when you're firing Death Warrant special, the guy with the chain gun leans out the window and fires backwards. If you pull down here, he opens up his trunk and he launches these really damaging bounce mines into the level. Also, the chain gun does more damage when you just don't fire, but when you just fire it straight up.
Okay.
And it fires for less amount of time. So you need to keep the enemy targeted. You'll do more damage than Death Warrant, but you've got to be better aiming. If you do the alt special with Roadkill, you know how when you were charging up with Death Warrant?
Right.
Try it this time because now you've got an extra layer that you have to charge up to, and the speed is totally different, but it does a lot more damage. But he's got less armor than Death Warrant, and Death Warrant's special respawns faster than any special in the game. It's like every 20 seconds you get a new special. So it's kind of the balance of he's a great beginner car, he's got more armor, but this guy's a much more, if you can get advanced with Roadkill, you can do a lot more damage than Death Warrant can. So it kind of just depends on sort of how you like to play. So even though on the surface you look at the weapons and say some of them look like it's the same weapon, everything is designed to give you a different sort of character experience.
Gotcha. Cajun Corn Dogs writes in.
Oh, I love that guy.
At IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Can you talk about the process of map design? These maps look to be very well laid out.
Well, I appreciate that. Map design is one of my favorite things to do, and I know it's one of Scott's favorite things to do. This is a Scott Campbell level. This is I had, you know, the way it works is we'll be like, we need a new level.
Yeah.
Who's got time? Now, it's me or Scott or Kellen. Usually we'll all get together and say, we know we want to do a theme park level, or we know we want to do a New York City in the winter kind of level or whatever. But then one of us will go off sort of at a very high level and kind of paper map it out. And Scott likes to do a lot more flowy, organic maps. So like if you look at this one, one section flows into the next section, and there are distinct areas like, you know, the movie theater or the mansion. I was kind of like, can we get that? Because that's a very distinct area.
Yeah.
I like distinct areas. So if you look at a map that I was more primarily the designer, like the New York level that you were playing in, that I like. That it's like there's the underground subway, there's the interior toy store. If you want to get to the drawbridge, you have to actually get on this road, drive to the ice rink, drive around to the bridge. You know, it feels more to me like you're in a car going places. Whereas, and they both really work. They're both just different kinds of gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's really the process is, you know, what's the location, what's the core idea of gameplay we want, you know, what's the high concept, and then one of the three of us usually will go off and rough high level it, and then it'll basically get sent off to a level guy who basically builds it. And he'll build it very rudimentary, very simple, you know, and then we'll have a lot of iteration that the team will contribute to, and Scott and I and Kellen will go back and forth on, and it just eventually kind of gets done. And they're all built with that initial, there's a reason for every map. There's a gameplay reason, and that moves all the way to the 30+ maps, right? So this map, where we get that 30+ number, this map, by the way, if you keep the team from launching a missile at all, you get a bonus point. And if you destroy the enemy statue, if you hit it 3 times, it kills it. That also gives you a bonus point.
Okay, got it.
And if the enemy team gets too far ahead, there's a mercy rule where the game's called and things like that. So there's some underground sort of rules that are happening too.
I feel like I'm a hopeless case regardless.
I'm so glad you're writing the review.
Remember, first time I've ever played.
I think it's great. I don't understand it. I think it's great. No, I'm kidding. Hey, listen. Honestly, the review that scares me, there's 2 reviews that scare me. One is that, that's great, Jaffe, we've heard all your press, but it's fun to blow shit up, that's all we know. That scares me, but that's our fault. The other thing that scares me is we know there's a lot of meat here, but we don't know how to get to it, and because of it, we don't appreciate it. That's our fault too. Ultimately, I know there's going to be people who get it. I don't mean get it like, oh, they get it, like an elitist thing, but they ultimately are able to sort of...
they care about the stats.
They care enough to digest it and appreciate it and go, yeah, we think that adds something. How many of those people are out there, that's the big question. But the map stuff, though, you start with the high concept. Oh, the 30 maps, right, 30+ maps. So this map breaks down to about 4 or 5 different sub-maps. But it's not just an arbitrary, let's just throw up walls. All the pickups, for the most part, are different locations, different philosophies of why the pickups are laid out in those maps. All the walls are put up to create a totally different kind of gameplay experience. And so even though we're reusing a lot of the same art to get those maps, it's not just kind of like, it totally feels different. So we have one map, like I don't even think you've even been into the movie theater, you may have, but one map is just the movie theater. We've added holes in the wall just to that map to create more of a flow, and it's this total fight for your life. Just insanity of sort of last man standing in that map is
No,
a blast,
that's one of my favorite things from the demo so far is going into that theater and just doing donuts and knocking up chairs and knocking crap over.
So, and that's a great map if it's just you and your buddy playing split screen.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing 16-player last man standing in that map, it's fucking crazy.
Gotcha. Let's go to questions. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, tweet at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal. Here we go. This one is bman_12. He says, were there any big challenges for the environment? Stuff like the snow and ice we saw earlier.
You see challenges?
He says challenges. No, he says challenges. I'm assuming, I mean, like, you know how Clements had to adjust for driving on ice? Are there more environmental stuff?
There's some. It's not, you know, we always, there's two things we always do with the Twisted Metal game, and we always decide not to do it at the level we thought we were going to do it when we get new technology. One is realistic physics. Everyone's like, you know, the physics in this game, you're either on board or you're not. And there's a lot of reasons, right? So a lot of people, we actually have really great arcade racing physics for this kind of game. But the problem is, look how often you're 180 and jousting and flipping around. If we actually have that acceleration feel, even like a Burnout acceleration, you're gonna flip around. And now it's like, right. The other thing is, we actually have a lot of great shocks and weight shifting and stuff. But you notice that in games where when you rotate, the camera hangs back for a little bit, so you end up kind of like in Burnout, if you flip a 180, you're looking at the nose of the car for a couple seconds, and then the camera will reorient. But if we did that, which we have it in the game in a tweak, but we didn't ship with it, you could see that. You go like, oh, the physics they look more like real physics. But the minute if you rotate around and you're looking at the nose of your car, you're not able to see your target because it is a shooter, right? So the other thing we always try to do when he asks about challenges is we always try to have surfaces that change the way you drive. So when you're on grass, it changes a little different. When you're on asphalt, when you're on snow. But in the context of this game, at the speeds, you're barely paying attention if you're on grass. It's not like a racing game where you're like, oh, I'm just getting onto the asphalt. You know? So usually we only save that for the modes or for things that are really obvious. Oh, you're in lava. Oh, you've got spikes.
Oh, you're in lava.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, you go into you know, that's what you notice. You know, oh, spikes are about to crush you in the arena level. Oh, you're on an ice rink. But it's so that it is in there, but it's not in there to the degree that like a racing simulation would be in there, where gravel's going to affect you differently than asphalt.
Gotcha. Doom Dash writes in at IGN, hashtag Twisted Metal, which is like you should be doing right now. What's next, Jaffe? Jet Moto is calling.
Not me. Pick up the phone, motherfucker. Sorry. No, I don't know. I mean, you know, I want to work on a new IP next. I've so enjoyed working on Twisted Metal. I really do think, from a design standpoint, it's one of the best things I've ever worked on. I think, you know, as a designer, you always got to be careful. You always got to be careful as a designer, because designers love games in the same way that programmers love technology. And sometimes there are games that come out that are all about technological masturbation. It's less about entertaining the player and more about look what we can do. Yeah. Designers can suffer from that as well, which is, you know, there's a danger that this game has, which is it's so much of a designer's game that we can sit around at GDC and talk about, did you realize you can do this? But if it doesn't get to the player, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And so in this game, I feel that I'm so proud of all the design we've done in the team and the work that I've contributed. But for me, now that I've kind of gotten to do this, and I've been sort of privileged to work with the team, and Sony's, you know, funded us for this. At this point, I'm really like, I want to get back into some narrative IP.
Like telling a story or something?
Yeah. There's
outside of I want to kill the person who got away from me.
Yeah, I want to tell. I have two things I'm really passionate about right now. One is, I do want to do a story-based game, but I want all the story to be told through gameplay, and I want to continue my